All right, welcome in everybody. Judge Metal TV, we're continuing our coverage of the KBO featuring our Hanwha Eagles. Korean baseball, the Hanwha Eagles currently sitting in 5th place, 21-19-1, 4 games out of first place. The Dinos, the Lions, the Tigers, and then the Twins on top of the league. Just a reminder, I think we say this every time we do one of these videos, but putting it out there, you need to be in the top 5 to make the playoffs in the KBO. We are certainly currently sitting in that last playoff spot. Landers right behind us, though, a game back. So I thought we would take some time here, try to do a little bit shorter video. Most of the videos in this series have been relatively long. We're going to try to do a shorter one here to set up the next couple videos. The goal for today is to get through the month of May, which we are into, but we want to flip the calendar into June and get into what I guess you would consider the dog days of the Korean Baseball League. We're about a month ahead in the schedule as opposed to Major League Baseball, so we play about 2 weeks in this September, and then it's playoff time as opposed to getting into October and playoff time like we are right now with the major leagues. So let's see, what do we got to look at? Let's catch up on what's happened since our last video. This is episode 6. Since episode 5, we have only done a few games. We'll jump to the calendar real quick. I think we left off right here, maybe at the middle of the Kia series or the end of the Kia Tiger series. So all we really did offline is I played some of these games against Latte, and as you can see, it's not been a good run lately. Came into the month of May feeling pretty good. Picked up first 2 wins, 3 out of 4 to start the first week, but then it's been 4 straight losses. The Latte Giants doing a good job against us. They are, where are they at? Right behind us. It's 6.5 games out of first, so 2.5 behind us. But they took care of business going head-to-head with us and gained some ground. And as I said, we'll get through, try to get here to the end of May so that we can get the next video set up for June. And that's when you start to see some things happen at the end of June and July, like roster expansion, trade deadline. Now, it does say on the upcoming events, 5/28 draft pool announcement. I think they've already done that. I mean, we can see the draft pool. And I think in the last video, if I remember correctly, we did take a look at this and discuss what our options are. In case you missed that one, that's available on our Judge Metal YouTube site, which is, if you're watching this, you probably know where that is because that's where this is going to be. But you can go back through and see the first 5 videos in this, and I think it was the last video, maybe the previous one, where we discussed the fact that the draft pool is obviously not as deep as you're going to get for Major League Baseball. So it's going to be interesting to see after the first couple rounds. We have the 2nd pick in the draft, so it looks like I'm thinking we're going to get this dude. Yoon Suk Cha is an outfielder, and he looks like he'll be a pretty good one. I'd be more than happy to have this guy. See how long it takes him to develop. At 19 years old, currently our center fielder is 20, just turned 20, maybe a month ago in game time, maybe a couple weeks. Can't remember how many games we've moved past his birthday now, but so it's not impossible for this guy to contribute in the near future. But we do have one of the first 2 picks, or the 2nd pick in the draft. So even if we don't get him, we're looking at getting a decent prospect. It does get a little thin after that, as you can see as I scroll down. But I feel like with these KBO teams, what you're looking for sometimes is, maybe one of these 35 overall guys does something really well or plays a few positions, whatever. Like they make rosters and they contribute. And these ratings are all compared to other KBO players. We're not comparing them to Major League Baseball. So just put them in perspective. But yeah, that says it's coming up on 528. So we'll see what happens on 528. If there's something else, it'd be kind of cool if a few more players dropped in there, but I doubt that. Looking at our offense so far, as we are here near the beginning of May, a few games into May, 4th overall in runs scored, 6th in batting average, 5th on base OPS. So basically middle of the road numbers. Remember, there's 10 teams in the KBO. So, being 4th or 5th in something is great, but it's really the middle. There's only 10 teams. I'm happy, though. I'd be happy with being 3rd or 4th in runs scored, somewhere in that area. I'd like to see the average up a bit. But more important would be, I think, the on-base percentage. And 5th in power. We don't run a lot. We have a couple of guys that can steal some bases. But individually on the offense, this is our center fielder that I was just talking about, Hyun Bin Moon. Just turned 20 years old recently in the game. And hitting .338, 2 homers, 17 RBIs. He plays every day. So that's 142 at-bats. On as our first baseman. A very disappointing season for him. We were hoping that he would be doing a little better in that number 2 spot in the lineup. I finally did. If you have been watching all these videos, you may notice that I have finally adjusted this batting order. The initial first stretch of the season, I'm not crazy familiar with this team, obviously, so I wanted to just let it play out and see how guys are producing and go from there before I made any major changes or big adjustments. And moving on to second was one of those. No is doing a great job. 340, 10 homers, 33 RBIs, one of the top bats in the KBO. So our number 3 spot is well taken care of, and he's done a great job at third base. Melendez moves back and forth between left and right, sometimes DHs. Solid season, 280 or 295, 8 homers. Inho Che hitting .368, not a lot of power there, but we'll take a .368 batting average and a .408 on base percentage. That's all right. Unsung Che hit .210, just 2 homers. Disappointing, obviously, but coming around. Last 5 games, I think that's a .250 batting average. Quick look at that. You're not happy with a .210, .290 on base percentage from this guy. He needs to be better for us, but maybe we're starting to see him coming around because he was hitting below 200 much of the season. So hopefully that's a sign, because we really could use that power. We could really use him hitting 5th, driving in some runs. And then after that, Cho is in at shortstop. That's because Ju Suk Ha is our regular shortstop, a very, very important part of our team. I would only say outside of maybe our first 3 guys in the rotation, or Noah Melendez, he's right there with those guys as how important he is to this team. And losing him really hurts, because he plays a really solid shortstop and gives us a potent offensive player. 329, 353 on base percentage. So we are definitely missing him. He was red hot when he came out of the lineup too. You see, what was he? 8 for 10 his last 10 at bats. I mean, that was a great run he was on, and the team was playing really well. He goes out and the momentum kind of shifts away. Look at the starting rotation. It's 4th in the league. That's overall okay. Moon and Lee at the 4 and 5 spots have been up and down. One start great, one start bad. So we'll see how that works out. If we have to make a change there, we will make a change. And the first 3, though, are solid. Ryu, Castaneda, and Vera. Really good. Castaneda started out really rough, and that earned run average is coming back around. In the bullpen, our closer, very good closer, very good setup man in Park. Both have had some issues, though. Overall, Ju has done a great job. 8 saves, 180. He has been touched up on occasion. There was one win that got away from us. I'm thinking about what I think he was the one. Park definitely got touched up recently. Yeah, there you go. 1 inning, 5 runs, 5 earned runs. He got smashed, and that turned a win into a loss, and helped put us where we are right now. So kind of trying to get our feet under us. So the bullpen, as we suspected, is not deep. I don't really know if there's much help out there. It's interesting, to say the least, when it comes to trying to make changes and adjust, fix your roster, because there's a lot of those like 40, 45 relief pitchers, overall rating relief pitchers out there, and those things can be hit or miss. So some injuries did get to us, thinned out the bullpen a little bit. That's hurt because the bullpen was good early, not so good lately. And that gets us where we are today. So like I said, 21, 19, and 1. Yes, there's a tie. We addressed that, I think, in episode 3. I can go back and check that out. There are ties in Korean baseball, including in the playoffs. And hopefully we can do an episode in the playoffs where we're dealing with something like that, because that means we're in. Let's see. All right, let's jump out to the calendar. And like I said, we showed you this earlier. 4 straight losses. 5 of our last 6. And we are going to go. Who are we playing first here? Oh, Kaiwoom Heroes. That's right. I couldn't remember who KW was. Sorry. It takes a little while to get used to all these different teams. They are struggling. We have done very well against the bottom of the division. We pushed ourselves up into the top 4 or 5 this area by taking advantage of an earlier schedule that had a bunch of these teams right in a row. And then as soon as we got up in here and started playing teams like Kia and Samsung, we took some losses. So kind of felt like we were a middle of the road team coming into this, and so far that's what we're looking like. But yeah, let's get back to the calendar here. And let's get game number 1 out of the way here. We're looking at I was like, wait a minute, we didn't win these previous games. Let's get to our calendar. There we go. 6-1 win. All right, we'll bounce back, take a quick look at the box score. Jung back in the lineup. Second baseman, you see 215 is the batting average, and you're thinking, okay, why are you so happy to have this guy back from injury? Well, solid second baseman, and while Ha is out and Jung is out at the same time, that makes it really tough up the middle. And there you go, 3 hits from him. So led off the game. I guess they changed my batting lineup. All right, this is why I don't like simulating games. I like to play the games because I like to control this stuff. But anyway, 2 more hits for him. Melendez, a 3-hit night. Great job there. Che, 2 hits. Che, the DH, 1 for 4, but drove in 2. So that's good. And they had 1 run on 9 hits. Pitching wise, Vera took the start. He gets the win, goes to 3-1. And he is your player of the game. And that is that okay? I saw Robles. I was wondering if it was someone we knew, but no, I don't think that's a former major leaguer. I don't think that's the guy. But all right, we get back to winning. That's great. Let's go to the next day here. All right, a 1-0 win. There we go. Let's look at the box score on this one. Just 1 run on 6 hits, 2 hits for Che, the catcher. Not much else out of the offense, but that was all we needed. No runs on 2 hits for the Heroes. Good start by Han. Lee out of the pen, pitches 1 2/3. No runs, but see, now here you go. Moon, 6 shutout innings, 2 walks, 6 strikeouts, gets the ERA down to almost 4. So that's actually 2 nice starts in a row for him. But there you can see 5 starts ago, then a good start, then a bad start, and now 2 in a row that are good. This is our young starter that we're developing. Hopefully he can develop, in the big leagues. We don't have to send him down, but that's all right. He's won 3 decisions in a row and brought his ERA down from a high of 5.46 down to 4.02. And we got some mail. Let's see what we got going on here. Okay. I wanted to do a scouting report on one of my minor league players just to get a better look at him. All right, that's helpful. This guy, yeah, actually that's very helpful because he's actually a better looking prospect than I thought he was. He had a very low scouting accuracy and wasn't so high on the guy, but yeah, we'll give him some time. All right, so Taeyang Lee, he's ready to go. I also had an issue. Another thing about simulating games is your rotation sometimes gets messed up and they're not starting guys in order and things like that. It drives me crazy. But 2 wins in a row, that's great. That gets us to 23-19. We'll play out the last game here and take a quick peek at the standings because, as I said before, we've done a good job at the teams that are down in the standings. 9-8 win, so there's a sweep of Kaiwoon. Gives them their 30th loss. Gives us their 24th win. 9 runs on 13 hits. 3 hit day for No. 2 hits for On. 2 hits for Park, the backup catcher in there. I believe that's our backup catcher. Yeah, backup catcher in gets 2 hits. You'll take that. And a lot of other guys with 1 hit. But 9 runs on 13 hits, as I said. 8 runs on 8 hits for the Heroes, so a good offensive effort from them. Lee leads the way with 2 hits, 3 RBIs. Oh, actually, excuse me, man. Song, the third baseman, just 1 for 3, but he drove in 5. So big day for him. Lee left the game after 3. Not sure why. Oh, there's an injury there, so we're pending a diagnosis. So I have to keep up on that. No gets the player of the game. And go back to the calendar. All right, so that takes us to Tuesday. Quick peek. 24-19 puts us a half game behind Samsung. Who we playing now? We got the NC Dinos. All right, these guys are good. These guys are the #1 team in the league right now, 28-15. Let's just take a look at their page rather than just reading through that. The rankings, look at that. #1 in multiple offensive categories. What they're not winning, they're second or third. So 6th in home runs. That's apparently their weakness. But they're first in runs scored, so who cares if it's a home run? If you score the run, you score the run, right? Middle of the road a little bit in pitching, though. 5th in starters, 1st in bullpen. So this is why these guys are on top. And you can look there. Yeah, that kind of shakes out the numbers on the starting rotation are not terrible, but not great. Bullpen looks really strong, though. And you'll see that nice 376 batting average in the #2 spot. So these guys are the real deal. 29 RBIs, 34. So they score runs. So the NC Dinos on top. That's who we're taking on next. All right, we got to take care of this injury. So what did that say? 4 weeks to throw him on the injured list. And then we got to bring someone up. Jump in the minors real quick. Man, these guys are all so young. Look at this. 19, 19, 19, 18, 19. Like, I know this guy's a relief pitcher, but I just hate to bring one of those 19-year-olds up and before they're ready. What about this guy? Oof. He's got more stamina, but I don't know. He's going to give up some homers. Well, there ain't much choice. Kang's coming up. Oops. Meant the pitching. Gets the 5th spot. There really isn't much choice. All right, we already knew that. All right, so let's get back into this now. At least now we got the 5th spot squared away with Castanado going in the next game. 2-1 loss to the Dinos. Just a quick look at that one. Good pitching, right? Rue pitched well, 4 and 3, 5 in the 3rd. The bullpen came in, did a good job, kept it close. Only got a run off their closer. But Caustic, 7 shutout innings, gets the win. And yeah, that's it. Not much offense. Multiple hit night for No and Che. So Che's average coming up now to 219. All right, so our shortstop has a setback. 2 more weeks till he's okay. That's not good news. So this guy's on the trading block. There's not much on the trading block, but this guy is. He's 35 years old. I don't have them. Well, 400 grand. I could probably swing this. Now the thing is, am I really a playoff team? Like if I'm really a playoff team, this guy would be a good addition, give us some depth in the pen, and then we would have 3. I think that would give us 3 relief pitchers that are 60 and over. So that would be a big help. The problem is that would, unless I dump some salary, that would take us right to the limit. And who knows if I'm really in this thing, because I don't score runs like I should, like I need to. I shouldn't say like I should, because we looked at the offense and we knew it was going to be a little sketch. All right, well, let's just jump back in here and finish this. So an 8-3 loss. The Dinos are the real deal, man. They're a good squad. The stats, you can look at them and you miss a little bit because you don't see a lot of power there. But, man, they score. So, yeah, 8 runs on 13 hits, multiple hit games. Sun and Diaz, Park. 3 RBIs by Kim and Sun, also with 3 RBIs. So, yeah, these guys will get you. 3 runs on 9 hits for our Hanwha Eagles. Good start by Castaneda, 5 1/3, just 2 runs. Han gives up 3 in an inning. And who's that? Jang gives up 2 unearned runs. Good start by Che for the Dinos. I forgot who I was playing. And yeah, so there you go. An 8-3 win for the Dinos. That's their 30th win. And probably good I didn't stop and like play out these games on the live stream or something against them. It would have been a miserable afternoon. All right, a 4-3 loss. So we sweep Kaiwoon, and then we get swept by the Dinos. So that's been the story of the season. 3 runs, 12 hits. So the hits are starting to drop. Moon's batting average, though, down to 299. He was down in the lineup. I tried to protect him and keep him down here, but just the injury to Ha and just the lack of depth in offense really forced me to push him up because he was one of the few people that was really hitting. And we'll see how long we keep him up there. Let's see. 4 runs on 10 hits. That was good enough to get the win. Kraft gave up 10 hits in 6 innings. Rue gets the win for them. Vera, not a bad start, 5 innings. 2.04 is now the ERA. Loss goes to Kim. Our lefties are a little shaky, but when we get the matchups done well, they tend to do all right. On. Is that R on? Yeah, R on. Yeah, Chi hung on. He won the player of the game. 3 for 5, drove in 2. And he's approaching 200 now, so maybe hits are starting to drop for him. There you go. 4, 7, 12, 15. 7 for his last 20. So 17 points in batting average in 5 games. So that's a good sign. We're looking for positives at this point. Definitely looking for positives. And let's see. I imagine this is a preview. Yeah, we get the Lions for 3 games. Samsung Lions. 553 winning percentage, 26-21. They are in 4th place, 5.5 behind those Dinos that just knocked the snot out of us. And their top player is Koo, the right fielder, 75 overall. We could take a quick look at them. So 9th in batting average, but 3rd in runs scored. So what's it matter? It doesn't matter how you score them. 4th in on base percentage. And then 4th and 5th in starters ERA and bullpen ERA. So, yeah, good looking squad with some depth issues maybe. Probably some injuries. Yeah, look over here. Holy, looks like they have more than a few guys out. So, boy, not a ton of power though. Where are they at in home runs? They're 3rd in home runs. They must be missing somebody that's hitting home runs. I can't explain. I don't know. All right. Well, they're 4th place, 26-21. They're a game and a half up on us. So this is a big series for us. We could potentially move up a spot if we play well enough or close some ground on them. And an 11-5 loss. Boy, we are just hurting against these upper teams. 11 runs on 13 hits for Samsung. Just 5 runs on 5 hits for the Hanwha Eagles. Now, Moon was pitching well, but there's another one of those bad starts against a good lineup in his defense. A lot of unearned runs. So, how many errors do we have? Well, we had 1 error. Apparently, a very critical error that led to a lot of unearned runs. So we got to their starter. That was interesting. We got to their starter, but then the bullpen shut us down, and they took advantage of that. Oh, they got a 4 in the first. Man, okay, so never mind. They were up 10-3 in the third. All right, so we got to win the last two if we want to gain any ground on them. And that's not going to happen. A 3-2 loss. 8 hits on another multiple hit night for him and Che. So the two guys we were hoping would start hitting seem to be hitting. Now everybody else has forgotten how to hit. 3 runs on 5 hits, though, so not a ton of offense from Samsung. And their starter left after an inning. I don't know if that was intentional bullpen game or... Well, it looks like he was hurt. So Kang, actually, we just called this guy up. Decent start, first time out. Did all right, but Park gets touched up for another loss. So he's 2-3. That's a little disappointing, as he's somebody we really need to do well. All right, so we'll do this last game against Samsung. Come on, let's get a win. Finally, break that 5-game losing streak. 5-1. Apparently, we're doing all right on Sundays lately. Let's see, 3 hits for Moon. Back up to 309 for him. Good job. That was our biggest offensive player. Kim drove in 2. 1 run on 8 hits for Samsung. Got to go forth. He falls to 3 and 6. 5 runs and 5 2/3. But Rue goes to 5 and 3. 6 1/3, just a 1 run. His ERA down to 3.36. You came into this thinking we had one of the top starters in the KBO, and he's shaping out to be one. He's done a really nice job. He's got a long contract, though. I didn't see that until we got into the season. He has. We'll go over that sometime other than this, but that could be an issue down the road. But yeah, good. Finally break the losing streak. 5-1 win. That puts us a game over 500. Samsung picked up a game, though, in that series. So we fell back from them. Landers is tied with us now for the 5th spot. And who is up next? We got LG. Boy, this is a tough stretch. We picked a tough stretch to do today. The Twins are 30 and 18, a game and a half behind those Dinos. They are first in runs scored, second in batting average. Look at that. 10th in home runs. That's the only. They do everything but hit home runs. Starting rotation is second. The bullpen is second in the KBO. Man, so top pitching, top offense. Quite a few injuries. And apparently they're not missing a beat. So this could be a tough one. Get back to our home screen and our calendar first. Got to get past the day off here. Oh man, I didn't see that he was hurt. Boy, that hurt. This hurts. Now this guy, you're going to look at this guy and you're going to say, okay, but there's not a lot behind him. So how long did they say he was out? 9 months. So we need to find a relief pitcher. Here's our guy. Like I said, there's a few 40, 45 range guys sitting in the minor leagues that, who knows? He might come up and be the best guy in the pen. All right. Get those rolls set and get back into this thing. So here we are, going up against LG, like I said, the second place team in the division. We are dropping back, though. You can see the winning percentage is dropping. We just talked about that injury. We just previewed the Twins, so you don't have to. Oops. All right, so pick up a 4-3 win. Good job. Nice 1-run win against a very good team. 4 runs on 6 hits. Melendez with the big day, 2 hits. No knocked in, 2 runs. 3 runs on 7 hits for LG. And Castaneda with another pretty good start. I'll take that against them. And Joe gets the save. All right. I was planning on jumping a little further. Oh my gosh. All right. The injuries are annoying when you're simulating these things. Lose game 2, 3-1. 4-hit day for Melendez. In a losing effort, 3 runs on 6 hits. 2 runs driven in by O, the shortstop. Really good pitching matchup there. Well, except Vera had to leave the game after an inning and 2/3 back. Good job by the bullpen. And a couple of unearned runs against Lee. And then Jung gives up a run late in the game. We got one more against these guys. What just happened? Did I pick? I simulated the wrong day. All right, there we go. Take 2 out of 3 from LG. 11-6 win. Who's our hero? Kim took over at DH. Drove in 3 runs. So 11 runs on 12 hits. Plenty of heroes offensively. Moon, second start in a row that's not very good, but the bullpen does a nice job of keeping us in the game and eventually win it. Chi Hung An, the player of the game, and it looks like our man here, Un Sung Che, was hurt, and we'll see how long he's out. Not great numbers for him, just 228. But as we talked about earlier, he's one of our better bats down in the lineup. So once you get past 4 or 5 in this lineup, the bats get weak. So that's our depth. That could be important. And here's your preview on Landers. They are a game behind us. The SSG Landers at 500. We're 2 games over now. So we took a game off of that Dinos lead. This gets it back down to 6. So we're clinging to this 5th spot. And we're going to move this along a little bit because this is actually getting to be a little longer than I wanted it to. So let's go out to the 27th. Oh, out 4 or 5 weeks. So 5 weeks. Yeah, we don't want to put them on the 60. We want to go 10. And did we know this? When did this happen? I missed this completely. All right. Well, we may come up short of our goal. I may do that offline because we're at about 40 minutes in this video, and I wanted to keep it to 30 or under. So just too many injuries hitting there. I want to check the roster and get everything straight before we go any further. So when we join you again, this is episode 6. When you get to episode 7, we'll have fixed these rosters. We'll have gotten through the month of May, which we got close. We're almost there. We got a week to go, but for the next episode, which will be out pretty well in a day or so right after this one, we'll have May done, and we'll be picking this thing up in June. And did we get to the 28th? By the way. No, we didn't get to the 28th yet. So I'll let you know what happens with the draft stuff, too, on the 28th, because we didn't get that far. But we end it with a win, 2 in a row. So that's good stuff. And as I said, we'll reset these rosters because I don't want to rush through picking out a replacement because these 2 injuries are long-term. And we're going to make sure this isn't going to be a starter 2. These guys are going to be out for a while, so we will make sure we get the right player in there. Plus Vera's day-to-day for 4 days. Make sure we don't start him when we shouldn't. So, yeah. So that's it. Let's see. Get to the end here. We're 28 and 25, 3 games over. Still sitting in 5th place. We'll call that a little bit of a victory, seeing as we played Samsung, LG, and the Dinos, so the top teams in the KBO. I want to say division, but there is only one division in the KBO. So, we'll take it. It wasn't always pretty, but you're still in 5th place. You're still sitting in that playoff spot. And if you play well here, these last 2 games against the Landers, you get some separation between you and the 6th place team. So continuing on our tradition here of beating up on the teams in the bottom of the rankings, but not doing so great against the top teams. But like I said, we hung in there. We're still hanging on the 5th. So thanks for hanging out with us. This has been episode 6 of our KBO coverage. Judgmental TV, look for us on Twitch. Look for us on Facebook. And we're also on YouTube, which is where you're watching this. So you already know that. All right. Thanks for hanging out. And we will see you very, very soon.